Good morning and welcome to 7 at 7 from the Economic Times podcasts, a daily financial news capsule to get you clued in for the day. It's Thursday, the 10th of October, and I am your host, Bhaskar Datta. In the latest developments in the West Asia crisis, US President Joe Biden and Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke on Wednesday, the first known conversation for the two leaders since August, Global Reports said. There was no sign, however, of an imminent ceasefire. The 30-minute call comes at a time when tensions in the region threaten to spark an all-out war, with Iran launching a massive missile strike against Israel earlier this month. Israel, which has recently intensified strikes against Lebanese-based Hezbollah, has said that it will strike Iran in a lethal, precise, and surprising way. Further, Iran has said to Gulf Arab states that it would be unacceptable if they allowed use of their airspace or military bases against Iran and warned that any such move would draw a response, Reuters reported. In good news for markets around the world, the minutes of the Federal Reserve's September policy meeting showed that a majority of officials were in support of a large 50 basis point rate cut last month. US stocks rose on Wednesday with the S&P 500 and the Dow closing at record highs, as markets assessed the degree to which Fed officials were in favor of bringing down borrowing costs last month after 2 years of restrictive policy. Remember, global markets have seen wild swings over the past week, as latest US data has dampened earlier expectations of aggressive rate cuts by the Fed going ahead. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 431.63 points, or 1.03%, to 42,512. The S&P 500 gained 40.91 points, or 0.71%, at 5,792.04, and the Nasdaq Composite climbed 108.70 points, or 0.6%, to 18,291.62. On the domestic front, we start with news of the passing of one of the largest leaders in corporate India. Ratan Tata, who led the country's largest conglomerate, the Tata Group, for over 30 years, passed away on Wednesday due to age-related illnesses. He was 86. Tata was admitted to the Breach Candy Hospital in Mumbai a few days ago. Tata, who would be remembered for his audacious bets in businesses that created a global footprint for the group, his philanthropic zeal and strong convictions, was the only person to head the parent company Tata Sons, as well as the Tata Trusts, which controlled the unlisted holding firm. In a major development which has a bearing on interest rates across the economy, the Reserve Bank of India on Wednesday shifted to a neutral stance of monetary policy from the earlier stance of withdrawal of accommodation. The shift in stance has been interpreted by markets as a precursor to a rate cut in coming months, with government bond yields falling sharply on Wednesday. The yield on the most liquid 10-year government bond closed at 6.77% on Wednesday, 5 basis points lower than the previous close. Bond prices and yields move inversely. A fall in government bond yields brings down the cost of borrowing across the economy, as sovereign debt is the benchmark used to price corporate debt. Further, Indian bonds continue to be the darling of the global investment community, with FTSE Russell adding domestic debt to its emerging markets index on Wednesday, a move that will add to the already large foreign inflows in the local bond market. Here's a scoop from one of India's largest corporate houses. The Adani Group is in advanced talks with the Middle Eastern Sovereign Fund to raise up to $1 billion for its airports business, said people with knowledge of the matter. The fundraising parleys come as group flagship Adani Enterprises launched a qualified institutional placement on Wednesday to raise up to Rs 4,200 crore, or around $500 million, which is lower than the initial target amid volatile markets globally, the people said. In addition to the base size of $500 million, the QIP has a greenshoe option of an equivalent amount. A final decision on the greenshoe option will be taken on Thursday, the people said. The group is in talks to raise the fresh capital under Adani Airport Holdings in 2 tranches, with the first tranche likely to happen by the end of this quarter from the Sovereign Fund. Worried about what to do with your old car? Well, the government is looking at extending additional SOPs for scrapping old vehicles amid a lackluster response from owners to the current set of incentives, according to officials aware of the move. The government has initiated a comprehensive interministerial review of the registered vehicle scrapping facility policy to examine the issues and identify additional incentives. The registered scrapping centers are unable to attract most owners of old vehicles, since the unorganized sector offers better value. We end today with some news on India's unfolding AI story. The India AI Datasets platform, one of the pillars of the government's Rs 10,000 crore India AI mission, will be live by Jan 2025. The aim is to create a platform like Hugging Face, a US-based collaborative and open source forum, hosting datasets and artificial intelligence models to enable developers to create, train, and deploy their own models. Data from central and state governments as well as from the private sector will be a part of this. That's all for today. Thank you very much for tuning into 7 at 7 from the Economic Times podcast.